Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. It is the season of giving, but some Grinches out there see it as the season of taking. Our Sonia Ellison has the latest on some porch pirates and vandalism being reported in the southern tier ahead of the Christmas holiday.
Yeah, so they were just walking by and they kind of stopped and took a glance at it and then just decided to slash it open.
The east side of Elmira has been a hotspot for porch pirates and other Grinches this season.
It was definitely the Grinch, I think, for sure.
Spalding Street in Elmira is a hotspot for its holiday light displays, but Saturday night, 9:30, a Grinch was caught on camera slashing the inflatable decorations in the house behind me.
We get a lot of missing packages and people kind of just stealing stuff out of people's yards and destroying other people's stuff. So,
according to Ring neighbors, 2 days ago, a couple was caught on camera, seen here stealing packages off a porch.
It's Christmas time. Families are spending a lot of money to get packages and things, and they need those back. So,
someone on Howard Street also reported she had packages worth over $100 stolen, urging neighbors to be careful. With these many incidents on the rise, residents of Elmira are advising neighbors to be mindful of their decorations and packages.
It's nice to have neighbors and things like that look out for your stuff, and I have really good neighbors in the area and things who we look out for each other.
And the East Side Grinch is not going to stop the Christmas spirit. Tiffany has since stitched up the decoration.
It's not going to stop us from, continuing to decorate every single year. So we just fix the problem and, keep our spirits high.
Sonia Ellison, Big Fox News, Elmira.
Boyd Fenton, the Pennsylvania man arrested for the November 9th arson of a Tioga Downs horse barn, has been indicted on 105 charges. Fenton was arrested for the arson. He was indicted on felony charges of arson, aggravated animal cruelty, 38 counts of criminal mischief, 30 counts of interference with injury to domestic animals, and 31 misdemeanor counts of overdriving, torturing, and more. Troopers are investigating an incident in the town of Howard in Steuben County. Police say multiple people were stabbed on County Route 56 this weekend, but that there is no threat to the general public. We'll bring you more information as the investigation continues. The Elmira Police Department announced another car auction. There will be 10 impounded cars up for sale through Thursday, December 21st. The online auction has sedans and SUVs as well as dirt bikes and takes place online at Auction International. Search City of Elmira impounds to find the current auction. Pressure continues to build today on some of the nation's most elite universities over charges of anti-Semitism. The president of the University of Pennsylvania has resigned, and calls are mounting for the presidents of Harvard and MIT to be fired. Doug Luzader has more from Capitol Hill.
High above Cambridge, Massachusetts, a plane trailed a three-word banner: Harvard hates Jews. And on the ground, a truck blasted a video of the congressional testimony that has roiled a number of college campuses.
So the answer is yes, that calling for the genocide of Jews violates Harvard Code of Conduct, correct?
Again, it depends on the context.
It does not depend on the context. The answer is yes, and this is why you should resign.
Harvard is under enormous pressure now to fire University President Claudine Gay for that response before Congress. Over the weekend, University of Pennsylvania President Liz Magill was forced to resign for similar comments about pro-Palestinian protests that have cropped up on a number of campuses with what many see as anti-Semitic messages.
I want to be clear. A call for genocide of Jewish people is threatening, deeply so.
Magill later tried to explain her comments, but it wasn't enough to save her job, especially after one donor threatened to revoke $100 million. In an interview with Harvard's newspaper, Gay offered an apology. And while hundreds of Harvard faculty members have signed a letter of support for her, donors and some members of Congress from both parties were outraged.
I found the answers of the university presidents honestly, to not be acceptable answers of leaders of any institution.
Any college president in this country who cannot condemn anti-Semitism, cannot condemn Jewish genocide, they need to resign or be fired.
And back here on Capitol Hill, a House committee has launched an investigation into Harvard, MIT, and the University of Pennsylvania. In Washington, Doug Luzader, Fox News.
President Biden plans to host Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Tuesday as the debate over more aid for Ukraine ramps up. Caroline Shively reports from Washington.
President Biden facing questions over U.S. support for Ukraine as the embattled nation pleads for more money to fund its fight against Russia's invasion. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky will meet with Mr. Biden in D.C. on Tuesday as Russian forces step up their missile attacks like this one that destroyed houses in the capital city of Kyiv.
They're in a ferocious battle now in the south and the east. We are running out of funding for them.
What happens if Putin marches through Ukraine? What's next? NATO countries. Right. Our sons and daughters are at risk of being a part of a larger conflict.
The White House is requesting a $110 billion package from Congress that includes money for the wars in Ukraine and Israel, plus other U.S. national security issues. Republicans want more funding to fight illegal migration on the Mexican border included in the bill.
We can't do everything on the border, but we can do the things to actually begin to control the border so that the United States is in control of our boundaries, not the cartels.
After 2 years of funding, the GOP also wants more answers on the U.S. endgame in Ukraine.
You need to articulate what the ambition is. What is $61 billion going to accomplish that $100 billion hasn't?
A recent Pew Research poll finds that 18% of Americans believe the U.S. is not providing enough aid to Ukraine, 31% say it's too much, and 29% say it's the right amount. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Jury selection is underway in the Rudy Giuliani defamation damages trial. The former New York City mayor and ex-Trump advisor arrived at federal court in Washington, D.C. this morning. He is facing a civil case to decide the monetary damages he must pay to 2 Georgia election workers. Giuliani was found liable in the defamation lawsuit brought by Ruby Freeman and her daughter, who he falsely accused of working to rig the 2020 presidential election against Donald Trump. It's looking like it's going to be a chilly, clear week. We'll have more in your complete forecast next.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Good evening and happy Monday. As we are rolling now into our second week of December, we're going to continue talking on some of these roller coaster conditions, especially temperature rises. We were working through the middle of the week with near normal temperatures, but then had that trend into the 50s, almost 60 degrees on Saturday. But then that low pressure system brought in those rain to snow showers throughout our Sunday. And today we have stayed more December-like within those 30s, even bringing in some of that lake effect snowfall, especially for areas of some of those Finger Lakes, especially working your way farther off towards the east where you're just getting clipped by some of that potential. But what we're noting is that we are regaining more of a southerly wind here as we head through the overnight, which that is pushing out that cloud cover and allowing for low temperatures to approach those 20s. Now here's some of that lake effect that was spreading its way in at times again with that southerly flow that pushes that lake effect out, and then we'll work into some sunshine. Now it looks quiet. It's not going to be too quiet, but before we talk about the why it's going to be active tomorrow, we also will be watching by the end of the day that a cold front will be dropping in. It is not as rich as the last system, but it might be able to shake out a few snow showers, and we'll be watching another round of some lake effect as we head into our Wednesday morning. Now for our Tuesday, although it's looking like it's going to be a sunny and pleasant day, it is going to be windy, and we'll take a look at that in a moment, but it does bring our temperatures back up into those 40s, so mild for a quick period before we have that quick front coming by the end of the day, allowing for another round of some lake effect snow showers into Wednesday, which will at least bring some times of some cloudiness for the area. Again, maybe some light dustings of some snow showers before we will work our way right back to some warm conditions, but also be talking about some windy weather to end the work week, and then we're keeping an eye on that weekend forecast. So here, as we roll into our Tuesday, we will stay underneath that sunshine as we are again watching that southerly wind move its way in. Now that wind, as it moves its way in, is going going to be a little gusty at times. We'll see that wind gust even in the Elmira area. We'll be getting anywhere from 20 to nearly 30 miles per hour. And we keep that southerly trend nearly all day long. So with those gusts around, note that areas all the way from Binghamton, Corning, and up through even Wayland there, getting upwards of 35 miles per hour will be possible. Now that does allow for those temperatures to rise from holding into those 30s today. Tomorrow we'll be up into those mid 40s, so nearly 5 to 10 degrees warmer than today, and you're pairing it up with some sunshine, but you'll have to battle the wind. Then we see by the end of the day that cold front makes its passage into our Wednesday. We'll battle sometimes with some cloud cover, again maybe some spots seeing a few flakes, and we're right back to those 30s, which is more of a near normal December day. But again, it's another roller coaster ride that we're going to be on, and we're going to be watching that. We're going to watch temperatures climb back up into the 40s and even 50s through Friday. Now we will be dealing with some gusty winds, and then we'll track still some mild temperatures, but cloudier skies into the weekend.